Wobecca is the host of the podcast Parenting Aaah, which was created to connect with other parents and help them with what can sometimes be a difficult task, let's be honest. And here she is now. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you. How are you?
I'm alright. How is everything going there with the pandemic at the moment? Because it doesn't look very good.
No, actually, where I'm in California, and we've been getting better, but other parts of the states are getting worse.
Oh,
So then inevitably it will probably get worse again. So
definitely.
it's,
I think the same's happened here. We're in our second wave, kind of. It's just starting. And it looks like things are going to get a lot
yeah.
worse. But your podcast, Parenting Aaah, which is all about kind of you try and talk about different subjects as a parent that you have to go through. What was your main inspiration for that?
Honestly, just being extraordinarily exhausted and stressed out. And I kept thinking, wow, I'm this stressed out, and I had never realized how difficult it was to work and be a parent and do all the other things you want to do, and sometimes felt kind of isolated. So I just wanted to reach out with other parents who might be feeling that way.
Yeah, you've discussed lots of topics such as self esteem and racism and toilet roll.
Mhm.
Which one of those has been your favourite to discuss?
Well, the racism one was interesting because a friend of mine did an interview with me. I wasn't planning on using interviews generally, but it ended up being really
Yeah,
fun. And I realized it's actually more fun to talk to somebody else than just me.
definitely.
Yeah.
What do you do for each episode to prepare? Because it sounds like you've put a lot of effort into it because you certainly know what you're talking about. Is that just experience or do you do research as well?
A little of both. I'm a teacher also, so it's sort of a combo of my experiences, observations, teaching children, and then working with their parents, and then my own experiences. So I think of topics, but then I do try to research some, so I can at least provide like a resource here and there, or something to hopefully give a parent an idea or some help.
You had your friend on for the racism episode. Are there any other people that you regularly get on to discuss things, or was that just a kind of one off?
Well, that episode was a one off. I mean, I am white, so I didn't feel qualified.
Yeah.
I can't speak of racism in the same way. But I actually, my sister is a has a PhD in public health, so I'm thinking of working with her on some child related health topics. But otherwise, I'm pretty open. It's a project I started. I'm kind of seeing where it goes.
And that racism episode in particular, listening to it, this might seem like a really stupid question, but who would you say your audience is? Because obviously the obvious answer is parents, but I think that racism episode and probably others too can really help people understand things in the world a bit more, even if they're not parents. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would hope so. And that's one of the things I sort of regret with with the title of the podcast is I think, well, I don't want to turn off people who aren't parents, but
Yeah.
yeah, I do think it could be helpful for teachers or really anyone that's in contact with someone younger than them or just someone they mentor, which is a lot of people.
Has the podcast taken over your life yet?
You know what? The funny you should ask because it probably would be, except my children prevent it from doing so. So
Yeah.
I can only do so much because I can't ignore my kids.
Yes, exactly. Do you listen to any other podcasts outside your own?
Yeah, certainly. I started listening to them actually for comedy value. During work, I sometimes drive, so I would listen
Yeah.
to a couple favorite comedians just to get my minds off, regular life. And so I just really enjoyed them. So then that started me thinking about starting my own.
Do you do anything else outside of the podcast? I mean, apart from teaching and your job and everything, what are your main hobbies, would you say?
Oh, you're asking a tough question now because quarantine,
Oh,
children,
yeah.
and it's made me feel a little bit boring. Traveling is really my main hobby, but that's put on hold. So I
Yeah,
would
this
say,
kind of awkward at the
yeah,
moment.
I would say cooking when I have time. I really do enjoy cooking and reading. Oh, they both sound kind of boring. Getting old. They're getting old
Well,
hobbies.
I suppose there are three things that quarantine is really great for, and maybe accelerated
True.
the third one in a lot of people, but not you. It doesn't look like that. Do you have any plans for your next episodes?
Yeah, I have a running list. So I make the list if things pop in my head, and then I'll run it by a family member and see what seems interesting. Or if a topic has come up, like the Black Lives Matter, that episode, it's such an important topic. So I felt like, well, okay, we got to address that one.
Yeah. Where can we listen to this podcast then?
Oh, well, at the moment, it's on a lot of the major platforms: Amazon, Google, iTunes, or that's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio. I don't know if there's big ones I'm missing elsewhere in the world. Those are the main ones here.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much the same here. And when you started the podcast, was it because you wanted to make a podcast, or was it because you wanted to share parenting experiences and advice, or maybe a bit of both?
It was definitely the latter, or the middle, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose so.
I enjoyed the listening to the comedians. My favorite, realized I didn't answer your question. My favorite one is Theo Vaughn. He's an American Southern comedian, but his podcast is like a lot of giving advice, so it's quite interesting. Anyhow, listening to that, I enjoyed, and I just thought it would be a good way to reach others. And
Yeah.
that was how. So the idea to help parents came up first, then the podcast.
And where can we keep up to date with all your work on social media?
Oh, my favorite is Instagram,
Aha.
and it's just parenting and then AAAH.
Great. Thank you very much for joining us today, Rebecca Wobecca.
Thank you so much. This was fun, and I like your Muppets picture there.
Oh yes, I bought this, one of my crazy lockdown purchases, and I got a shirt as well.
Oh wow, excellent.
I don't know if it's the wrong way round for you or not, but there.
No, I can read it.
Aha, and the listener will have to just guess at what it was.
Yes, it was a nude woman.
Yeah, that's it. Don't tell them. Right. Yeah, thanks for joining us, and we'll speak to you later.
All right, thank you so much.